Hey guys, I just wanted to welcome Sarah Lewis, Senior Ruby Ambassador on our team, for helping us out with a sales Zoom call right now. I'm going to be asking her a few questions, just a lot of questions that I know everyone has been wanting to know. She always has really high PV and has a really high retention rate with her ambassadors and her customers. So I wanted to get with her and kind of see what she's doing different and what we can learn from her. So I'm going to start with the first question. Sarah, how are you finding ways to expand your network when people that you know are already doing Plexus? Like your network, people that you've already touched are either already on your team as ambassadors or they're already doing the product.
Okay, well, that's an easy one because for me, I'm in a different age demographic than you are, Carrie, and maybe a lot of your team. But when you get to be my age, which is more like your mother, just kidding. Okay, mid-40s, we've got more health issues than you do. You know, we're not just starting Plexus just to do, weight loss or lose a few baby pounds or whatever. Like I have Hashimoto's, which is the autoimmune version of hypothyroid. And over the years, as I've been doing research before I found Plexus even, I was involved in a lot of different groups on how, researching things that I can do to make myself feel better. And so I'm still kind of involved in those groups. And sometimes I'll answer a question in a comment of one of those groups, to help people, to tell them my story. I'm not necessarily like, hey, Plexus can help. That's not what you do at all. But you go in there and you act like you're really, well, you don't act like, but you are really concerned for someone because you recognize that you felt exactly like them at one time and want to share exactly what Plexus has done for you. So you network yourself into groups that you're involved in or your interests in. It could be your kids' soccer. Join a soccer group on Facebook or go to the gym, do different, things that you're interested in, like MOPS groups and things like that. Network yourself into that. And when you hear someone say, oh my gosh, I'm so tired, the baby was up all night last night, I have zero energy, all I want to do is sleep on the couch, interject yourself that way and say, oh my gosh, that's exactly how I used to feel. And it's really changed since I've started Plexus.
Yeah, that's a really awesome point. I know I try to do this already, but it's so hard to have the mindset of, be listening for what their needs are that you could help versus, I need more mommy friends. I just need to hang out. So it's hard to change that mindset when you're first getting started. I know for me, that was where I struggled with. I was like, I just need to get out of the house and talk to some more adults instead of listening for those the key points that Plexus could help with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Getting out of the house is just as important as being more networked in on Facebook, because you'll definitely get yourself into different groups of people by meeting them in person.
Yeah, and that's also a good point that you mentioned. Your my network, like my target market, I guess you could call it, they want to lose that baby weight. So it's really hard to kind of transition because the weight loss does sell,
right.
Especially with my demographic, versus, the health benefits. So that's a really good point that you made. And, you have long-term customers because it's not just the weight loss. And I know I run into that, they lost the weight that they needed to, and now, they don't really see a need to continue these weight loss or these health products. So that's kind of where, that's kind of where I need to change my mindset.
Right. I understand that completely because your demographic is like my daughter Morgan's, who's also on our team, same deal. But where, she's not a mom yet and her demographic is, more of the, millennial group, people wanting to get healthy, people wanting to work out. And she's doing a pretty good job of, talking to them about how Plexus can help them with balancing their blood sugar. So they're not, going out, a lot of alcohol consumption within that demographic, let me just tell you. And, it's part of balancing that out and getting healthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, question number 2. Is it hard to talk to them about plexus? I guess my real question was, how do you talk to them without offending them? Obviously, you never want to say, hey, you need plexus.
Right.
You know, I have, not said that, but, said, hey, would you like to try this, health product that I'm a part of? And then they kind of turned it into me thinking and calling them overweight. And I never want that to happen to anyone else.
Right. Bring him over. This is part of being a mom and working your business from home. I mean, this is what we do. Well, I think that's one of the things that at least the people that have joined me and have ended up buying from me, they've always said, Sarah, I feel like you're non-pressure. You're not always just saying, why don't you try Plexus? I kind of always bring it into the conversation, not always, but bring it into the conversation where I'm like talking about me, or talking about someone who we're conversing about that has been on Plexus and it's helped them for whatever. So I'm not telling them that they need it. I'm telling them how much I needed it and what it's done for me. And, then leave it with, if you ever want to try, I've got a sample right here and I'd be happy to talk to you about it because, the world is heading in this direction of all these processed foods and chemicals and everything in our environment that is completely making our bodies toxic. And it's not until you start getting your gut healthy, that you're able to deal with, whether it's your chronic fatigue or, not feeling well, not having any energy, not being able to lose weight. So I bring it up in kind of a realm and definitely not just all geared to weight loss because that could offend, like you said.
Yeah. And that's an area that I lack in. I don't know a whole lot about gut health. Like I know that if it's not healthy, it causes all these ailments to happen. But I don't know, an extent of explaining why it's so important other than if your gut's not healthy, you're going to get headaches. You're going to have, allergies and food intolerance that are probably geared towards the yeast and stuff in your gut. But
absolutely. That's exactly what it is. Exactly, Carrie. I mean, that's our immune system is in our gut. So when you're getting the flu and all these different viruses and all these things and the crud coming home with your kids from school, it is all about gut health. And, what are you going to do? Are you going to battle that with more medicines and more, toxins you put in your body? Or would you like to find a way to build your immune system up naturally?
Yeah, definitely. Okay, so we kind of answered the how do you talk to them about with a non-offensive way. And I heard something. I went to Sheila Medina's panel one night that they were in Mobile, and one of them said something, and it was like a duh moment. When you're talking to somebody, don't make it about them. Ask them, hey, do you know anyone that, and this is also like something to kind of get to see if they have a network. Hey, do you know anybody that could benefit from this? Do you know anybody that needs more sleep at night? Do you know anybody that's already taken Omega X, or not Omega X, but do you know anybody who's already taking Omegas? And by asking that, one, you're seeing if they have a network. Two, they're probably thinking, why would I give you those names? I want to share that with them. And
right.
then they're going to be like, well, I take that. I need that. I don't sleep at night as it is. Tell me what this product is that you want to tell them about. And so there you go. You're kind of like engaging those 3 areas, whether they're going to eventually be a part of your team or you're going to go ahead and get them started on the product. You just planted that seed.
Right. And another, you're talking about that Sheila Medina, but yesterday in the Team 360, we posted a video from Sonia Dudley, who just happened to be like out shopping at Dillard's. And this girl was so super helpful to her and helping her pick things out. And I think one of the biggest things that I know I need to work on, and probably all of us do, is to compliment others. Like she went up to her afterward and she goes, you have been one of the most helpful people I've ever met. So genuine, you've really helped a lot. I can just see that you're kind of a personality. I mean, you just draw people in. So when you start complimenting them and giving them good feedback on, what makes them feel good. And then she invited them, she goes, you would do really well with what I do. And then she's like, oh, well, what do you do? And then, that proceeded. So if I can tell anyone, go look at that 4-minute video. It'll change how you approach people in any situations, at the grocery, wherever.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. Do you do a vendor booth?
You know what? I have not ever done a vendor booth. I'm not because you shouldn't, but because I really haven't put myself out there. I think that it would really be a fabulous idea to do things like, especially like for your demographic, weddings. You've got the brides, you've got the mothers of the bride, everybody that's thinking about fitting into these wedding dresses. That would be a great one. A new mom, event, or like a kids consignment sale, setting up a booth there. That would be an awesome opportunity too.
Yeah, that is a good point. The kids consignment sale, that would be a really good opportunity.
Yes.
Hold on just a second.
Let them in. This is reality, people. This is Plexus as a mom, home with your kids. I just haven't picked mine up from school yet.
Okay. So another question. What is a great way to give your information and also get their information without being way too salesy or trying like you're prying for information? You want to be genuine, but you also, when you're giving, you also want to receive. You want them to give too. So what's a great way that you found to do that?
Well, I'll be completely bluntly honest here, because some people, you don't necessarily want to say, hey, are you on Facebook? Because, I'd love to send you some information. Can I friend you? And send you a friend request. Some people, that's not somebody that you're going to want to see some of your personal, posts or whatever. I always carry business cards around, but I give those out, if I've talked to them about the products or the opportunity. And I've always got them with me all the time because I always carry my purse. You may always have your diaper bag with you, whatever it is. Have something there, and even some slim packets of the pink drink to hand out when you're talking about it. But you can, if you see someone that you think would be an awesome potential ambassador, friend them right there. Talk to them about if you're doing like what we were just talking about with Sonia Dudley. She's talking to that girl in, or what did I ever say, Dillard's. And she says, this will be a great opportunity. Would you mind if I friended you on Facebook and I can send you some information, and then if you can always add to it, and then if you don't want to do that, you can unfriend or whatever. Just kind of leave it open like that, but always extend the invitation. That's how you build your networks. And I've had tons of people here recently in that way. Like I've friended like one person that I met on that little chat group that I was talking about, and she ended up adding like 10 of her friends who have feel the same way to my group. And so I keep this little running list of people that have contacted me. This is just this month about Plexus. So this is the potential. I mean, if you get involved, I don't know how many that is, maybe about 20 people have actually sent me inquiries and talked to me this month asking about Plexus. Now, I bet you 10 to 20% may actually order right now, but that the other ones are going to sit there and watch, because longevity is the key. If you are posting and then you get so discouraged with yourself that you stop or take a little break, people notice. They're like, I wonder why Carrie stopped posting this week. It must not be working for her. You got to be consistent, because people are watching and they're going to make sure that you're not going to fail before they invest their money in what you're selling. Right,
definitely. And I love the list thing. I'm really big on making lists. I just have to learn to keep up with them. I have like 50 empty note cards that have like 5 names on each, because I'm like, oh crud, I can't
Yeah,
find that one note
this
card.
has been great because I keep it with me all the time, and I've been using this for Plexus for a long time, and you just turn the page when it's the next month of the next list. It's a great thing to go back on too, because I've had people that asked me, way back in the day that are now coming back as customers.
Oh, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so, what do you say most often when you are trying to get them as a new customer? If you meet someone, or someone's they're asking questions, maybe on Facebook or through text, what is your kind of like, you reel them in type comment? That's the only way that I could describe it. I hate to sound salesy.
No, I call that my elevator speech.
Okay.
So an elevator speech is kind of a, 1 minute, maybe even less than that, little spiel that you're going to tell them. And it's going to really go back to you again. You're going to say, oh, I'd love to talk to you more about, Plexus because it's what's helped me and I feel so great and blah, blah, blah. Or I'm staying home with I'm a single mom and I'm staying home with my kids. Would you be interested in finding out how I did that, and get them involved like that and friend them right then and there, or write down their number or send them an email. What's wonderful about our groups is that you can send them a link to your group without even being friends with them, and they can join your group. So even if you don't want to friend request somebody, say, let me find you on Facebook and I'll send you a private message with some information. And then go ahead and say, hi, this is, right there in front of them, hi, this is Sarah. When I get home, I'll go ahead and send you some information. So that's easier than friending.
I did not know that even if you're not friends with them, that you could add them or send them a link to your group. I didn't know that. So that's a good thing.
Yes. And that's how I don't friend request these people that I meet in the chats. I always send them a private message, and I never initiate it. Like, I always in the comments say, message me if you'd like to find out more about that, because I don't want to be that pushy person who says, hey, I saw you post something and I would just like to send you this information. That is way too salesy, way too pushy, and that's not what we're kind of about. We're about sharing. We're not really about selling so much, even though it's kind of the same thing in a way, but
right.
I don't feel comfortable with that.
Right, yeah. I don't either. And I know a lot of my people kind of struggle after they've done their elevator speech, and then they're kind of like, okay, what do I say next? I've kind of told her a little bit about Plexus. She kind of asked 1 or 2 more questions, and now we're kind of at, well, are you going to order now, or should I wait a week? They kind of get at that, I call it the most awkward moment of a conversation, because it's kind of like, should I send them the link even though she said she wasn't ready, or she didn't initiate, she wanted to order now? What do you do, or do you ever have those moments, and how do you prevent them?
Absolutely. So I'll send them a message after we've met and it's, time to go. You've just seen them at your kid's school function or whatever. And you say, hey, Carrie, it was great seeing you today at blank elementary school. And I know you asked me some questions about Plexus, and you may or may not even be ready to think about if this is going to work for you, or if you'd like to find out some more. But I'm going to send you, this is the link to my Plexus group. I would love for you to join, look around, and if you have, keep watching and let me know if you have any questions. Leave it completely open to them. They do come to you. I mean, it's amazing. They really, I don't think you have to push so much. Hi. I think you just have to keep sharing.
Okay.
Because one of those testimonials is going to reach out to them. One of them is going to read something, and it's going to be that little ding dong.
So I have a question. This is kind of like off of my list of questions. When you invite someone and they join your group, but you're not friends with them, do they see your posts even though you're not friends? Because I know Facebook can be funny.
They do. They're not going to see every single one of your posts. And the more interaction that, your posts are getting in your group, the more likely those posts are going to be showing up on people's news feeds. So my suggestion to my team has always been, if you're going to duplicate me, or if you're going to duplicate Carrie, like or comment on the post. If you're going to go in there and actually copy and paste, like it, or say something like, "That's great, Lauren, I'm so proud of you." Because that's going to boost that post and people's posts. And then if we're all doing that, if we're all reciprocating, we're going to have more of our posts showing in people's feeds.
Right. Yeah. I have been talking to my team about, not just liking, but it takes 2 extra more seconds to put, "Oh, I love this." Something that's not so like genuine, but people don't think that you're just commenting just to comment on the post, but actually instead of just liking it, because it's so easy to hit like and keep scrolling.
Right.
But it takes a little 2 extra more seconds to say, "Oh, I really love this. It spoke to me." Or, "I remember when I used to struggle with this." It's just something simple, 3 words, 4, it's just so key in helping keep each other's posts bumped. And I think that it's important to show the whole team, sidelines and whatnot, that we all support each other. And that's one great way to show that.
Exactly. I'm not your upline. I'm your sideline.
Yeah. You're amazing. Because I wouldn't be doing the Zoom if you weren't.
You're so funny.
Well, you are. So, okay. My next section of questions have to do with follow-up. I struggle with this, just keeping track of things, because I'm really good at, after that first 2 months of ordering, I'm really, really good about messaging, "Hey, did you get your product? This is how you start your product. Make sure you drink this amount of water," every few days for the first week, and then kind of back off. And then, eventually after that second month, I'm like, "Oh, are you still loving your product? Have you seen any weight loss victories, any inch victories? Are you sleeping any better? What's working for you?" But then, like, after that second to third month, it's like, "Oh, I've got new ones, that I've got a baby," and then I not forget about them, but I think about it, and then I'm just like in the middle of something, and I don't remember again to go and say, "Hey, I need to message you." So the first question was, how do you follow up?
Well, I do very similar to what you're talking about. You always want to babysit your brand new customers, see how they're doing, make sure they're, bumping, if they're taking Triplex, bumping up their products appropriately, drinking their water, those initial results. Those will keep them, on their products consistently if you're reminding them. I'm not extremely in their face all the time. I always leave it every single time I follow up with them. "Hey, I just wanted to check in and see how things were going." Leave it just one sentence, and then if they answer you back, and some of them don't, and that's fine too, put it out there. Just say, "Please contact me if you're having any questions or having trouble with your regimen, because that's what I'm here for. I'm here to help." And I was going to show you one of my other little organizational tools that I use. This is my calendar, and I keep track of every new ambassador that joins me personally, and then new customers. And I write down, NC, new customer, someone's name, and what they've ordered. Then I can go back, in a couple months. I can flip back and forth and see exactly what timing it is and if it's time to check in. And you have to kind of gauge your customers too. You can tell if they are, the go away thing, "Just let me do my thing." And you're just like, "No problem. Just let me know if you have any questions."
Right. Now, for your ambassadors, is it just your level 1s or your work?
In my calendar?
Yeah, in your calendar.
No, I also keep track on the side, all my level 1s through 4s that join each month.
Okay, awesome.
So then I was doing that, especially during convention credits and things like that, to kind of keep track, to make sure I was getting, but this is one of Shannon's tools for us. She always is like, "Well, what did you have for points last month?" So I've started keeping track of my points. Also, on each day, let me find where I was actually being consistent with it. I'll write down my points each night, because I'm always up at midnight, and I just write them down. That way, when Shannon asks me that question the following month, where were you in points last month? I'm like, oh, let me see. See how smart I am.
Yeah, she's got me to do the same thing. But I don't do it every night. I do it 2 days a month. I'll do it on the 15th or a day or so after the 15th after we get paid. And then I'll check again like the 29th of the month.
Well, I think it's important really the 20th through the 30th to do it every day, because then you can start seeing a pattern of who, is ordering and who's not and who's selling. You can kind of gauge a pattern.
Right, yeah. Okay, let's see. How do you follow up? Is it snail mail, Facebook, text, or call? And what works best for you? Like for your customers' sake?
Since I've got so many people that I'm not friends with on Facebook, I'd say 95% of all my follow-up is done through Facebook Messenger. I've got a few people that are completely email. I'll just email them. I have to admit they probably don't get checked on as much as the other ones do, because it just takes longer to log in to your mail account and then send them a quick note, but you should. And then I've got a few who prefer no Facebook, and I'll text them. It just matters, but I'd say 95% I do all my checkup and follow-up on Messenger.
Okay, sorry.
Sounds like someone needs a sucker.
I know. Oh, okay. You can do your music. I know you touched on this, how you do it on your calendar, but I saw an interview with Abby Jo, that the youngest emerald in our company, with Lori Harrison, and she talked about how she printed out each of her customers' invoices because there's a lot of white space at the bottom, and she could use that to write notes, like what they talked about when she followed up, and so that she's not sending them the same thing, or because she said that she has a big customer, list. A lot of them are being turned into ambassadors, but she still has a big chunk who are customers. And I also think that that's a really big thing to be balanced in both areas. But anyway, so she was talking about how she keeps these printed off sheets, and she has them like for the whole year. And every time Plexus enters a new product, she'll go back through and she will message every single one of them. And she had this like inch binder. I mean, it was already full, and I was like, that is such a good idea. Like I've never even thought about doing that. I
haven't either, but I have now. Now that you've mentioned it, I think that is an excellent tool, and it's organizational for us too,
Yeah. And for somebody who's not very organized, it takes 2 seconds to click print and pop holes and put it in a binder. And then you already have your list. You're not having to chase around index cards or, anything that you've written your little notes on.
Right. And you can write little notes, like I know she's got a 3-year-old that's just like mine. You can write little notes about them that'll help you connect with them relationship-wise. That's a fabulous tool. I think we should all do that.
Yeah. Okay. So do you ever contact your old customers, maybe the ones who've reached their goals in their weight loss, and how do you have that on kind of like every 3 months you contact them, or is it every time Plexus releases a new product, or do you not even do that?
It depends on the person, because I've kind of gotten to know, some people are like, this didn't work for me, and, forget it. I actually have had some of those people come back because they're still just watching your posts. Those people that kind of left on a bad note because they were so grumpy, I think the really big key is if someone says, this isn't working for me, always send them away with a blessing. Thank you so much for being, my customer. I'm sorry that this did not work for you. And, if you ever have any questions or would like to give this a try again, please contact me. I just had someone come back last week that quit last October. It's a year. And they said, okay, I think it was helping with some pain in my hip because I've got arthritis in my hip. I'm like, duh. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, and you waited a whole year to contact me back?
Right.
Yeah.
So I have an 80% return rate on my customers that come back. And wouldn't it be a shame if people that get so, have a bunch of customers in the beginning and then stop working their business, and these people want to try it again and they come back to you and, oh, you're gone. That's no bueno.
I actually have customers who ordered from me because they said, I went to reorder. I took 2 months off because of the summer, and I went to reorder, and like she wasn't even, I messaged her and she wasn't even doing it anymore. And I was like, hey, I will take you because I'll be doing like this.
Exactly. Exactly. Don't give up, people. This is the place to be.
Yeah. Okay, so I know you mentioned that your customer base is focused on the health aspect of Plexus and the benefits of that. How do you kind of transition? I know it has a lot to do with, the things that you post, but how do you transition from gearing only towards the weight loss, your target market, to gearing towards all of the health benefits?
Well, I think if we want to do this for the long term, I think we need to focus on more of the health benefits than, just the weight loss. I think we should all be really educating our customers on gut health. That will not only, get new customers to think about the things that it could help them with, but it will also, the people that have lost weight, they're going to realize that it's more than just weight loss. So I would say step up your education on gut health and health overall. I know we're getting ready to run out of time.
What's a good, I'm sorry. They seem to be drawn to me today. What is a good place to get your information and education on the importance of gut health? Because I know we have to be really careful about where we get our information from, and trusted sources that we can share with our customers, because, if it's just another mommy blog, they're just going to throw, they're going to throw something out there that you're going to have to block the objection for. So what are really good places to get gut health education on?
Well, of course, you can Google things like WebMD and, Thyroid Support and all these different places. But I would say duplicate the leaders that are, being successful. Lori Harrison, she's the fungus queen. Go look at your leaders. Come look at me for thyroid information. I've got lots of articles I share. Maria Millick in my group, she's real big on autism. She does so much research on autism and gut health. So, really expand your network, expand your circle, and reach out to your leaders, because they're the ones that have been doing it a little bit longer and know where to find these articles. And as you see what they're sharing, you're going to see exactly where you need to go for those.
Okay. And my last question before we wrap this Zoom up is for someone who isn't organized and chases after multiple kids like me. What is the best advice on following up and how to keep organized?